Welcome back, good people. Today I'm gonna go ahead and start the process of putting that amp inside that amp rack and getting it wired up. Will I get it all fired up today? Probably not, because I gotta do a lot of wire organization in there, and also I'm gonna have to move it in and out as far as when it comes to the point of tuning it. So, like I said, remember, hit that like, share, subscribe. I appreciate you coming back. Love all of y'all. And I'm also still waiting on my lower fairing speaker grills. So once they get here, I'll go ahead and tack those on as well. And everything facing me, if I were riding on the bike, will be basically done except for putting the grills in on the top fairing. But you got to put the outer fairing on first in order to secure it, and then put the grills in afterwards. So let's go ahead and get started on this point. All right, I have my HDTS Link T-harness cable right here. I went ahead and bound everything that I won't be needing, so it's not just in the way in a bunch of bundle of wires. I mean, you already seen how this looks in here. I mean, we already don't have a lot of room. So I got to hook the inputs up to the amplifier first. I have to move that amplifier over because, like I said, later on I'm going to have to tune it. And once I get that done, I got to plug the headlight back in because I don't want to throw any codes when I put the maxi fuse back into the bike. And also I'm going to have to put the OEM radio back in and hook that up as well. So I see why videos doing these installs are always quick and to the point, and they don't want to like show you those different little aspects of it. I fully understand now why, because I really don't want to have to hook up one little thing, turn the camera, hook up another little thing, turn the camera, show it, explain it. Oh my God, just organizing these wires right now is enough to make me want to pull out each one of my scrotum hairs with salad tongs. So just bear with me. I'll try and explain it as I go through certain little areas and get little parts done. All right, remember when I said I didn't have much room to work in there? And I've already gone ahead and put the OEM radio back down in there, secured it down, not too tight. It doesn't have to be very tight. But anyway, I got it secured down, only to realize that now I have to get the plug for the harness that goes into the OEM radio inside it, but I can't have the radio installed down on the actual bracket because the amplifier, which is still in the way and hasn't been pushed back yet, is in the way of me putting that plug in. So now I gotta take the radio back out, or at least unfasten it from the bracket, prop it up, plug it in. That way I can get to doing anything I need to do as far as any tuning available that I need to do on the amplifier. And then I gotta come back to it, then I gotta move it in, I gotta secure the amp underneath so it's not sliding around. Make sure everything is the way it is, put the headlight back in, make sure that headlight goes in because there's a lot of cables and harnesses under there. So I gotta make sure that gets in. I will never complain about doing a car audio or a truck double din, single din dash ever again. With a motorcycle, you have like much space. Itty bitty little space. I love when shameful opportunities present themselves because it makes me wonder, I may have to buy a small tray for the shop here to hold things on instead of my wife's shoulder cushion that she uses when she's watching TV. This is always the point where you hook everything back up just so you know all the connectors are connected together and all of the plugs are plugged in each other. They might not be sorted right now, but it's the moment of truth where you turn the power back on after putting the maxi fuse back in and you hope everything doesn't. So should we just do a drum roll and turn it on and hope nothing blows up, or just reach over here and just turn it on? All right, what I've done right now is I've temporarily put the grills with the tweeters in right now. So just so I can make sure everything comes up on the screen that's supposed to. Now, because the tweeters are not run separately and active, they'll still be running off of the same frequency. I'll have to tweak it off of the actual mid bass because I can't send a tweeter frequency through a mid bass that's going to make that tweeter sound the best as it can. But by design, the way they did it, I'm going to tweak it the best way I can. So if I would have ran a dedicated line, like another amplifier, another channel, 2 channels or something like that, to the tweeters themselves, then I would just hook that in and call it channel 5 and 6 or something like that, just to be able to tweak it. For those who do tuning on the regular, you already know what I'm talking about. For those guys who may want to start ripping stuff apart in their own bikes and all that, I'm trying to be as helpful as I can just so you'll understand what can go down and what needs to happen whenever you're doing these kind of tunes. So stay tuned for the next little get, which is me actually turning on the power of the bike because I've hooked up the maxi fuse and everything. I'll probably get a subtle white noise or something like that coming out of the speakers first. Let me see. Yeah, I can hear it. Yeah, I hear it. But I also got to hook up my tuning cable, the USB-C, which I put right there. All right, so I got to put this camera down for a minute. I got to see what's going on here. It's my first time ever tuning. As you can see, I'm well into the next day. I done went to bed, woke up, did what I had to do, got dressed. I'm in a whole different line of clothing right now. And if you think tuning that bike or tuning any system through that Cicada app and DSP app is gonna take 10 to 15 minutes, even if you're a seasoned pro, it's gonna take you at least an hour or so. I'm new at it, so as you can see, it took me to the next day. And I take back anything I ever said about, I'm gonna walk y'all through the different steps as far as tuning that. I'm sorry, it's just something you gotta experience when you're doing it, because you gotta tweak it and you gotta mess up a few times, and then you gotta stop, because you gotta, if you got your bike on a tender, you gotta let the battery juice itself back up for a minute, because while you're adjusting the gains on that 1400.4P amplifier, it's gonna juice the hell out of that battery. I take it back also, I am gonna end up switching out that battery to lithium, because man, it didn't take long at all. Just testing and tuning and turning down the gains and all of that, and turning them up a little, turning them back down, for that battery to say from 14 to hanging around 12. That's usually when I stop it and I let it rejuice and do its thing on the tender. But I got it tweaked to where I want it now. I thought I had it last night, and I know I'm rambling, but this is just me explaining that process. So I thought I had it last night. I came out this morning, went over it again, ended up being, I was a little too high on the levels last night, so I dialed it all back. And granted, that amplifier is powerful. I am not, say my hand is the gain knob. This is 0, and it goes all the way around, right? At first, I had it like right here. You know, I always start any kind of level adjustment with it right in the middle. I had to turn it down. When I crank it up on the OEM, Rockford 14 through 23, that boom audio system, the last 4 dashes is where you don't want to go past. So I was nowhere near those dashes, and the clip light was coming on. So I had to clip it down. I had to turn it down, retest the levels and all that, turn it up to the last 4 dashes, clipping light still coming on. So I had to turn it down. Right now, I got both channel 1 and 2, 3 and 4. They're like, if my hand was like that way, just act like this point is this point. They're both like right here. It don't take much. So from 0 to like up to about right here, that's all it took. I hope you followed that explanation. I'm sorry, but yeah, it's just something you gotta experience yourself when you're fine-tuning everything in there. I can't show you how to exactly do it. I mean, I would have never gotten it done if I would have been moving the camera around, showing, all right, now I'm clipping the gain down some more, and I gotta go over here and change the slope on the EQ, and I'm tired just explaining it. But yeah, as you can see here, look. Everything is still out of there. So now that I got it fine-tuned, now I gotta find a way to get this back to where it needs to be, get the amp pushed back some, secure the radio here, and get all of this in here in order to put the headlight back on securely, put the outer fairing back on, the top piece, and all of that, and it should be good for now. But that's just where I am right now with this whole thing. It's not hard, it's just tedious. So if you think you're gonna just rush through tuning an amplifier that has a DSP in it, like I say, unless you're somebody like Carlos from MVS or something like that, and even he tells you it's gonna take more than 10 to 15 minutes, it's gonna take you a while. You know, you can do basic builds, or you can do high set component builds, it might take you from an hour and a half tuning to like maybe 4 to 5 hours tuning. Trust me, you just gotta experience it. But like I said, thanks for coming back. I know it's a short video. Remember to like, share, subscribe, and see you in the next one. Hopefully I can go ahead and get all this stuff put back up. Excuse me, I can get all this stuff put back up, and we'll get some ride videos, and maybe I'll do some of those walk away from the bike while listening to music. You know how folks do it. Why not? It seems to work. But until then, I take peace.